All right, today's focus is fractions. So on this particular video, on part 1, we are going to focus on recognizing different types of fractions. 2, addition and subtraction of fractions. 3, multiplication of fractions. And 4, equivalent fractions. So let's start with it. When we're talking about fractions, what are we talking about? What we're talking about is the fact that we are given something which we call a whole number. So for instance, I'm going to draw this whole number, right? So this is something which is full. Now we're going to divide it into different equal parts. So let's say I divide into 3 equal parts, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, right? And then I'm going to shade one part here. Now, this one part which I shaded, it's part of what? The whole thing. So now I say that I have got 3 equal parts, but one is shaded, right? This is now a part of something. So fractions, literally, it's a part of something. That's what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with things that are full. We're dealing with part of something, right? Part of a whole number. So that's what we are dealing with. So we've got different types of fractions. We've got what are called proper nouns. Now, here where I wrote 1/3 here, we have got what? This one, this is what we call a numerator. And this 3 is what we call a denominator. So when we say we've got a proper fraction or common fraction, what we're simply talking about is the fact that the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So if we come here, we've got 2/3. The numerator 2 is smaller than 3. Or the numerator 1 is smaller than 4. So that's what are known as proper nouns or common, please forgive me, proper fractions or common fractions. I do teach English, so that's why there is this mix-up. Anyway, let's move forward. Then the other type of fraction that we have is what we call an improper, or what we call improper fractions. What happens with improper fractions? This is when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we've got a bigger numerator and a smaller denominator. If we look at this, 6 is bigger than 5. 6 is our numerator, 5 is our denominator. And another one, we've got 3/2. 3 is the numerator and 2 is the denominator. So when you see such fractions, you must know that these are improper fractions. Then, last but not least, we've got what is called a mixed fraction or a mixed number. Mixed fraction or mixed number. What happens now? Mixed, we're now saying that things are not the same. What is not the same? We have got 1 whole number and a half. So we've got 1 and a half, this one. The first part is a whole number, something which is full, and then the other one is a what? Fraction which is part of something. Another example that we have is 3 1/4, 3 whole numbers and a quarter, and then we've got 4 2/3, right? So 4 whole numbers and 2/3. When they're talking about these 2/3, remember we gave an example of this 3. So when I shade this other part, now this is 2/3. So you've got 4 parts, 4 whole numbers, and 2/3. So that's what we call a mixed fraction or a mixed number. Now that is very easy. I think everybody understands the type of fractions that we have. We are now going to talk about what? We are now going to be illustrating addition and subtraction of fractions. So in this particular instance, we are going to start off with what? We're going to start off with fractions which have got what? Identical denominators. Check. I've been given 3/5 plus 1/5. The denominators are identical. So what do? I write my equal sign. I start off by writing my denominator, which is 5, which is a common denominator. Now I go to the numerator. I say 3 plus 1, which is equals to what? 4. I've got 4/5. This is my final answer. Why am I saying this is the final answer? Because when I check it 4 and 5, and I'm supposed to be simplifying it, is there any other common number or common factor for 4 and 5 besides 1? The answer is no. So this is the final answer. We go to the second question where we are given 2/4 plus 1/4. there's a common denominator, so I start by writing out my denominator 4 over. Then I add the numerators. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So I've got 3 over 4 here. And likewise, this is the final answer. Then I go to the third one. Now, this time around, we are subtracting. What are we subtracting? We're subtracting fractions which have got what? Identical denominators. So first order of business, I write my 5. Now the sign has changed, so I must subtract. So I say 4 minus 1, it is equal to 3. So 3 over 5 is my final answer. Then I come here, 2/3 minus 1/3, identical denominators. So I write my 3 first. 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. And just like that, this is the addition and subtraction of fractions whereby the denominators are identical. Now, what do we need to do? We are now going to work on fractions when the denominators are not identical. Addition and subtraction of fractions when the denominators are not identical. So, the first one that we will write is when we are given 3 over 5 plus 1 over 2, 3 over 5 plus 1 over 2. So as we can see, our rules for fractions, 3 over 5 and 1 over 2, the denominators are not identical. So this is like it's like saying that here I've got a cow and here I've got a goat. And then they've asked me to count how many cows do I have. I can't count cows and goats and say that I've got cows. So what should I do? I should make this to look like that. All right, so how do we do that? This is when we now introduce what we call a conjugate. What's a conjugate? Basically, when we talk about a conjugate, we're talking about a number which is equal to 1, but we don't write it like 1 like this. We write it in a different form. How do we write it? So let's look at the denominators. I've got 5 here and I've got 2. On this first fraction, the denominator that I don't have is this 2. So what do? Now I repeat writing 3 over 5 plus 1 over 2. Now I'm going to multiply this 3 over 5 with this denominator 2. So I write here 2 over 2 multiplied by 3 over 5 here. Now this 2 over 2, if I say 2 divided by 2, what do I get? I get 1. This 2 over 2 is what we refer to as the conjugate. Plus, I come to the second fraction, which is 1 over 2. Now, on this denominator, what I did in there was 5. So I multiply by 5 over 5. 5 over 5. On the next step, now I say numerator multiplied by a numerator 2 by 3 is equal to 6 over denominator multiplied by a denominator 2 by 5 is equal to 10 plus numerator times numerator 1 by 5 is 5 over 2 by 5, 10. Now observe, now I've got identical denominators, right? And what's most important before we go to the final answer, what I love about the conjugate, this fraction of 3 over 5, it has never been changed, even though it's now written in a different way, 6 over 10, right? Or this fraction of 1 over 2, the value is still the same. If you go to your calculator and you press 6 over 10, it will still give you 3 over 5. If you go to the calculator and you press 5 over 10, it will still give you 1 over 2. In other words, 3 over 5 and 6 over 10, they are equivalent, meaning to say that they are equal, as well as 1 over 2 and 5 over 10, they are equal. Just experiment with your calculator. You can pause the video, go to the calculator, press 3 over 5, find the decimal number, press 6 over 10, find the decimal number, you see that they are equal. You're likely to get what? 6 over 10 multiplied by 100, that's 10. That's, you're likely to get 60%, 0.6. That will be your answer on your calculator. Now, let's proceed. Now, we are back to what we were doing earlier on in the video. Identical denominators means that we write 10. Now, we're going to add the numerators. 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. Now, 11 over 10 is not our final answer because we must leave it simplified. So now we go and we ask, how many 10s do we have in 11? We've got a single one, which is a one whole number. And then we left 1. There was a remainder of 1, so we write it as the numerator, and then the denominator is still 10. And if I say 10 times 1, it's 10. 10 plus 1, it's 11. Then I can go back to 11 over 10. So this is the final answer when we have been given what? The denominators which are not identical. Denominators which are not identical. So this is the 10, the denominator, 6 plus 5. This is the 11. 10 into 11, the one whole number, and the one remainder over 10. This is your final answer. Now, we're going to explore what we call the subtraction of what? Subtraction of fractions when the denominators are not identical. So, here, we are given 4 over 7, and they've said 4 over 7 minus 2 over 5. The sign has changed. The principle hasn't. 7, 5. Denominators, not identical. Make the denominators identical. What do you use? Conjugate. What is the conjugate for this one? It's 5, because you've got the denominator of 7, you don't have this denominator. So let's start. So I'm going to start off by writing my conjugate 5 over 5 multiplied by 4 over 7. Done. I write my sign. They've requested me to subtract. I write this fraction 2 over 5. On this denominator, I did not have this 7. So I multiply by 7 over 7. Then I go and I say 5 multiplied by 4, that is 20, over 5 multiplied by 7, that's 35, minus 2 multiplied by 7, that's 14, over 5 multiplied by 7, 35. Nothing has changed there. Now, I've got identical denominators. So I start off by writing my denominator over. So now 20 minus 14 is equal to what? It is equal to 6. Now I have to ask myself a question. 6 over 35, is there a common factor besides 1? The answer is no. Why? 35 is divisible by 5, whereby it doesn't leave a remainder. Whereas 6 is divisible by 3 numbers besides 1, which is 2, 3, and 6, right? And they're not common. So 6 over 35 is your final answer. All right. So on the next lesson, we're going to be dealing with what? The division, multiplication, as well as equivalent fractions, right? So you don't want to miss next lesson. If you found this video to be very helpful to you, please consider subscribing, share, like, and comment. Till we meet next time. Cheers.